Video is going to show you the sandwich method, as I call it, of how to make a box in SolidWorks. Obviously, apply these techniques to whatever design you intend to make for your project. You don't have to copy the exact same shape, but follow the same method. So before you do anything, make sure you have got OneDrive installed if you're using the school PCs. To check that, just search OneDrive. Okay, click the icon. If you've not signed in before, it'll ask you to sign in, and then OneDrive will appear on the teacher PC. I'm not going to do it here because I've already set up OneDrive, but it's very important you do, because anything you save otherwise won't be where you can find it. Right, once you've set up OneDrive, start with a new assembly. Okay, click OK. Fantastic. Make sure down here at the bottom it says mmgs, millimeters, meters, grams per second. Actually, mine's a little bit slow. It may well pop up with open. Just close that, you don't need it. And just click the tick up here to begin assembling. Okay, so anyway, check it says mmgs. And before we do anything else, we're going to save our assembly. So go save as. And saving is literally the most important thing. Make sure you go to your OneDrive. It should say OneDrive Wellington College, and it should have all the areas that you've made. So I've got Rob's SolidWorks, and within there I'm going to make a new folder and call it Sandwich Design Demo. You call it what you like, okay? And within there I'm going to call my assembly box assembly. Okay, fantastic. Right, we're going to make this now with three different parts, but we're going to do it one part at a time. So we are starting with an assembly, and within assemblies we need to make parts. So go up to Insert Components and choose New Part. And you'll see it's got a tick. It's saying, like, where do you want to draw this part? Well, I would suggest if you hover over here, we're going to draw on our top plane. Okay. This should go bright blue. If it does, that's good. And what I'll do at this stage is right click on it and rename this part. And I'm going to call it base of box. Okay. Fantastic. Right. If you've made that, great. You might need to drag this little bar along the left to see what you're doing. We're going to now right click on this. We're going to open it up by clicking the arrows, and we're going to find a work plane. I'm going to suggest the front plane. Right click on it and choose this little icon, which means draw a sketch. Okay, I'll just do that again. Sorry, sketch. There we go. And I'm just going to draw my box. Now I'm going to make my box as a circle, and just to make it a bit more interesting, I'm going to add another circle off to the side of it. Going to do like some Mickey Mouse style design here. Okay, I'm going to put dimensions on it. This is very important, so I don't want my box to be particularly big, so I'm going to go 120 diameter, and just for consistency, let's make the ears 60. Smart dimension 60. Fine. Obviously, so you make your shape here, whatever you want, but the clue is you're going to make it as an outline. Okay, you can make a more complex shape by drawing several shapes and then slicing them up. So if you've done my method here, you could go to Trim Entities and then hold down and drag, snip, 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 and just make yourself one nice outline. And when you're done with that part, click the tick. Okay, click and hold your middle mouse button in so you can rotate your view a little bit. And we're going to go 3D now. So we go to Features, Extruded Boss Base. And we're going to likely make this part out of acrylic, so I'm going to make it 3mm thick over here, which is the size of the acrylic we use at school, and click the tick. Okay, fab. We have made our first part, so now it's time to return back to assembly mode, and you'll see where this is going in a minute. So to return to assembly mode, we click the little pencil and multiple part icon up here. You'll see that base of box is no longer blue. That's fine. Right, we need to make a second part now, which is going to be the sandwich. So we're going to go up to Insert Components again, click New Part, but this time click on top of the panel you've already made. Okay, that means it will start drawing it relative to that. It's gone blue, which means you're working on it. So I'm going to right click over here and rename it. There we go. And I'm going to call this Middle. Sorry. Good. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and choose, no I'm not, sorry, try that again. I'm going to come over here, expand this box, and then find my work plane I want to draw on. Now I'm going to pick front plane, and you can see because we clicked on that panel, the front plane is nicely on top of it. So I'm going to right click on front panel and choose sketch. Let's do that again. There we go. Okay, now this next bit's dead easy. We're going to click convert entities and just hover so that you can see this has all gone orange. Just hover and you'll see it's selected the entire face. Just click tick and you'll see that's drawn a black outline. What it's done is it's stolen the shape I drew from the part previously and put it onto a new part. Now we want to make this like a tunnel effect, so we want to repeat these circles inside it. There's a really easy way to do that. You've got offset entities, so if you select that, and I would set this to 3 millimeters, and then you have to click on one of the shapes. Now in this case it's offset them, but it's going the wrong direction. We want this yellow line to be inside, so we need to come over here and choose reverse, and you'll see what that's done. So offset entities, choose your spacing, pick a feature, and as long as you've already got a loop drawn, it will then repeat that feature that distance away, and then you may need to choose reverse once you're done. So when we're done with that, we click the tick. Good job. I'm going to click and hold the middle mouse button and rotate my view a bit now, and I'm going to make this 3D. So I'm going to go features, extruded boss base. That should automatically pick that outline. If it doesn't, you may need to click on one of these, but it has. And I'm going to make my middle section 30 tall. Click the mouse button. There we go. Good. Okay. Click the tick when you're done. Now we're not done here yet with our base. The way I'm going to build my Mickey and the Mouse box is I am going to permanently glue this bottom base onto here. However, I want my top to screw on and off with some screws so that it's removable and that I can gain access. So I'm going to add in some little tunnels. Now, whatever design box you've done, if you follow the same method for making the tunnels that I'm about to show you, they'll guarantee fit. So click on the top surface of this bit you've made and right click on it and choose sketch, and it should spin the view round. And what I would suggest now is draw yourself some circles, sort of roughly near the edge, a bit like this, wherever you want the screw. So about this kind of proportion. I'm just going to have 3 on this design. And within them, draw yourself another circle. And we're going to put sizes on them in a minute, so don't worry too much. 2. Okay, just a smaller circle within a big circle. And then go to Smart Dimension. I'll just follow my advice on these sizes. So I'm going to make the middle circle 3 millimeters on all of them. And the outside circle I'm going to make 10. 3 and 10. That's what you've got to remember. They're the magic numbers because they'll fit the screws that we're using at school. 3, 10. Okay. 3. 10. Okay. I'm also going to deliberately do one of these wrong, which is what you guys might have done. I'm going to accidentally draw one of the circles snapped onto one of these lines, okay, just so I can show you how to fix that mistake, okay? Because in a minute you're going to want to move these, and you might have done something like that one on the top right. But anyway, so you don't have to do this, but this is just to show those of you who screw that bit up. Right, we're now going to position these as follows. So we are going to press escape if you need to. And just click on the outside circle, hold down Control on your keyboard and click the lip of the box near it like that. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try that again. So click that, hold down Control and click that. That's what I wanted. Right, and what I want you to do now is to choose the tangent option. Okay, and actually, no, I'm so sorry. We've done that kind of wrong. So I'm just going to change my mind on that. Control Z to come back. I want you to make it tangent to this outside edge. So we'll do that again. So pick the outside edge nearby and the outside of the circle. Choose tangent. And then I'm going to do the others the same. Okay, you'll see where this is going, I promise. So that and the outside of the circle. Choose tangent over here. This is just going to make sure they all are the same spacing from the edge of our box. They look nice and neat. Tangent, there we go. Now you'll see if I try to make this one tangent, for instance, it will probably, in fact I haven't put a size on it, it will throw up an error, okay? And the reason, so like if I do this, look, and make that 10 as I wanted it, I'll just prove to you what goes wrong, just so you've learned something. If I put a tangent on it, so click that, click the outside, and try and choose tangent, it'll go, can't do that. And the reason is because I already fixed this big circle to this line here. That's what this little square icon there means. We have to break that before we can move it, okay? So I'm just going to delete my dimension. That's fine. And I'm going to go and delete these little green things to free it up. So just click the green thing, tick it, click the green thing, tick it. You'll find your circles now, if you drag the middle bit, you can now move them around and they're now free from their bonds. And now if you wish to, you'd be able to put your 10mm dimension on it, tangent it to the edge, and all would be well. Right, so that's how you fix that issue. Okay, I'm going to delete that one because I don't want to mess around with it. If you're not happy with the position of your screws, you can just drag them around. Okay, somehow I must have forgotten to tangent this one, so I'm going to do that again. Click, click, and tangent. There we go, click the tick. Okay, but yeah, now because they're tangential, look at this, you can just drag them round wherever you want them to make them look nice and symmetrical. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click feature now and extruded boss base. Give it a second. Now what it will do is it's automatically selected them for me. If it doesn't, you'll have to click on them. They're obviously going the wrong way, so we want to choose the arrow here to make it go the other direction. Now you could just type in 30, which is fine, or you could, if you wanted to save a bit of material, because you don't need to 3D print that all the way down because the screws are only going to go partially into it. I'm going to type in maybe 15, so my little bosses only go halfway through, and I will print it that way up and then put the screws in from the back. So happy with that, click the tick. Fantastic. I've now got my screw holes. Okay, good. What we can do now is we're professional designers. We're going to make this a little bit stronger. So I'm going to go get the fillet tool and I'm going to set it to, I don't know, 3. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to click these edges. So not that one. If you do it wrong, just come over here to the box, by the way, and delete the thing you put in there. Right, so I want to pick that edge. There we go. Sorry, my computer's struggling because it's trying to record the video and run SolidWorks. That one. That one. That one. And this one. Yes, there we go. Good. Right, click the tick when you're done. What that will do is it will just strengthen these bits up because they're obviously going to be under a lot of force where the screws are biting into them. Fantastic. We've now made our middle section. So we go back to the assembly. We're done with that part. We're going back to assembly mode. And you'll see if we look on the left, look, we've got 2 parts, the bottom and the middle. And what's important is they are separate parts. We can separate these later for 3D printing. Okay, final bit, we're going to put the lid on the box. So if you were paying attention, the lid is a new part. So that means we need to start with inserting a new part. And it's going, where do you want to draw this part? Well, we want to draw it onto here. So I'm just going to click on that top surface. That doesn't do anything apart from create a part. I'm going to right click and rename this. I'm going to call it top of box. And then we're going to open this guy up, find the relevant work plane, which is the front plane. Look, is that on the top? Yes, it is. And we're just going to right click on that and make a sketch. Okay, I don't know why it's making me do it twice. There we go. Right, this bit is super easy. To make the top, you just go to our friend Convert Entities and you just click on the top, so the whole thing, and click the tick. And now, to make it 3D, we don't really even need to think. I'm just going to check that this works. Actually, I may have to go back. We're going to go Features, Extruded Boss Base. Okay, now it's not picked out the holes, that's fine. So I'm going to go back to my sketch. I'm going to go, sorry, back to the sketch tab. I'm going to convert some more entities. So I want to convert that hole. Oh, so pick what you want. I want that hole. I want that hole. and I want that hole to show through. Okay, and actually that's fine. I'm just going to click the tick. Good. And what I'm going to get you to do is make those holes a bit bigger. So draw another circle around them. 1. So click in the middle this time because you want it to be joined to it. 2, 3, and we want to make these holes 4 millimeters. Okay, you'll see why when you build this thing, but basically the holes going through the lid are there so that the screw fits through it and spins but doesn't grip the lid. And the bit below it, the sandwich panel if you like, that is a smaller hole because we want the screw to bite into it. It'll all make sense when you got it in your hands, just trust me on this one. Okay, so we have 4 millimeter hole in the lid, good, and 3 millimeter hole in the box. Right, now when we go feature extrude, there we go. Okay, that's picked it. Just make sure it's picking the outer circle and not the inner one, which it is, because we don't want that inside one, we want a bigger hole. And again, this is going to be acrylic, so we're going to go 3 millimeters and click the tick. Okay, fantastic. So we have made the parts we need. Now, in the workshop, what we'll actually do is we'll put a little countersink in here, which is like an angled cut. So in the workshop, we'll actually drill in. I don't want you to model it because if you model it, it will come out wrong on the laser cutter. But we're going to put a little chamfer on there in the workshop, say like, I don't know, 3 millimeters. We'll actually drill a little hole in, something like that. And then the head of the screw, just to give you a preview, will be sunken into the box so it'll fit nice and flush. And then we flip it over and there's your box. But I don't want you to do that on the model, please, because we are later going to take this and export it for laser cutting. Right, that's the end of this video. Make sure you save your work. In the next video, I'll show you how to add your other holes in here and how to position your components. So you might want to put your speakers in here, like sticking through holes. You might want to have the volume control. All of those are going to need holes making in the print and whatever. Okay, but that's good. You should have the basics of your box if you want to follow the sandwich method. Okay, as I said, you just customize the outline to whatever outline it is you were planning and follow the same sequence I've done there. You can have as many or as few screws as you want. Job done. When you finish, by the way, click return to assembly, and I should say click save. Okay. Just because I like to show off, actually, if you've got a minute and you haven't already hung up the video, click on maybe the front plane and go up here and press this fourth icon along, section view. Okay, this is quite cool. You can drag this arrow, look, and you can get a cross section through your box. So you can get a really nice view of how things are going to work. And imagine you were presenting this to someone and explaining how the screw is going to fit through this bit and bite into this bit. Really, really clever. All right, and if you also want to play, you can drag these, look, and you can make your cross section at any angle you like. Really, really powerful, this program, when you get used to it. Anyway, that's done for this video.